G'day folks. Well, this is the Crazy Unicorn Mercury cube, and I made this from a normal Crazy Unicorn cube. I had a spare Mercury sticker, and it's very simple to do, just swapping out some centers, about 2 minutes, you've got yourself a new cube. So being the Mercury cube, this one has the white face as a one face, where those circle parts turn with the face. Every other face is a zero face. So we have 5 zero faces, and then the one face down the bottom. Well, at the top, however you choose to look at it. So this is really the foundational puzzle for a number of other puzzles. So for Venus, for Earth, for Mars, and in fact for at least one version of the Neptune cube as well. So there's probably another one there I've missed, just thinking about it, but at least all of those will need the same techniques as this Mercury. So this is kind of like the Jupiter, in that the Jupiter and the Mercury have the techniques that I used to solve a number of other unicorn puzzles, Crazy Unicorn Planet puzzles. So in that sense, this is a really important puzzle to learn if you're going to do the rest of them. So how I'm going to do it, first of all, you can see that I don't have any turnable corners. So it's not that it's not in cube shape, it's clearly a cube, but I can't do anything with it apart from these face turns. I can't turn any corners. So that's where I'm heading, is to firstly try and get it back to corner turnable shape, if you like. Now, because these are zero faces, you'll see that the circle parts don't turn on any of the faces except for the white face. So that's the face where we've got to do our work, essentially. So what we're going to do first is to place certain circle pieces into each face. And when I say certain circle pieces, I'm not just trying to use alliteration there. I'm actually trying to demonstrate. There is an example. That green circle piece is the type of piece that I'm initially trying to place. That green piece is not. Now, if you look carefully at that green piece and that green piece, you'll notice there is a subtle difference. This one here, the longest side of the piece, is a straight line. This one here, the longest side, and I know it's not a straight line, but it's the longest side, is a curved line. So what we're looking for are these type of pieces. So there, that red one is another one of the same type. That orange one is another one of the same type. Now, these pieces will never occur next to each other. So you're not going to have that orange and that green next to each other. We'll always have one of each along here. So what we want to do is place these 4 pieces. There's one of the yellows that's in. There's a white piece that is the correct type, just the wrong color. These 4 on every face. We've got to use the white face to do it. So first of all, let's do the yellows. So one of them's already in. I look on the bottom and I can see that there is 2 yellow pieces there. Now that one's in. So let's firstly turn it around, the bottom face, and just bring it up and see, does it go there? It doesn't, it's in the wrong position. But you can see that if you could turn that 90 degrees, it would go on this one. So what I'll do is turn it so that it's now underneath where it needs to place, and then simply turn it up. And for the yellow face, that's all we need to do. Is that the correct one? That is. There'll be another yellow piece somewhere. There it is, it's on the red face. So unless, in this case, it looks to be that I can just turn that straight up. But if it wasn't exactly there, I would need to turn it down onto the white face, turn it around to where it belonged, and then turn it up into position. So that's the yellow face done. That's the easiest of the lot. There's no other restrictions. But now we've got to be a little bit more careful. So what we're going to do is to do these middle pieces, not the upper and the lower layer, but the middle pieces for each of the 4 faces. The way we do that is just to find a piece on the bottom. There's a blue piece. That's the only one actually that I'm interested in at the moment, that blue piece. And you can see that that piece is the right kind of piece and it's in the right position to go up to there. Now, if I just turn it up, I end up knocking out the yellow that I've just put there. So from now on, what I need to do is turn it off, turn it off on the white face so I can bring its position down, put it onto its position, and then turn it up. And you'll notice there's that yellow piece that's come out. When I turn it up, that goes back in. So that blue one is in. Now that may or may not have replaced another piece. It looks like it has brought out a red piece here, which would be good to use. And you can see again that belongs there. So we'll just turn it off, bring its position down. Notice while I'm bringing that position down, it's not budging the blue piece that I just placed. So there's no worries about that sort of thing. Turn it on and place it up. Now it looks like there's now a green piece, and I've already got the one placed there, so I'm going to place it in this position. So I'll turn that position down, turn it around, put it on. And if you're thinking, well, this is pretty easy, yeah, it is. What's next? Looks like I've only got, in fact, I've got every single one of the white pieces down there, which is not really what I want. Let's have a look here. There's a blue piece sitting here in that orange face. So I need to just bring that down to the white face and replace it with something else so that blue is now available for me to use. Well, that's clearly got to go here. So the blue face is done. I've brought down a red here, which is the one that belongs in that position. So let's bring its position down, turn the red on, undo, and just for good practice, I will undo. There's an orange that's been put here, that belongs up there. So I'll turn it off, bring its position down, turn it back on, and place it. And let's have a look where we're at. The 2 oranges are in, the 2 blues, the 2 reds, and the 2 greens. So all of those middle type pieces are done. You may notice there's actually 3 pieces on each edge, and that has happened because being the Mercury cube, these pieces here, that little bottom layer orange piece, can't go anywhere except around like this. There's no way, there's a blue piece which belongs here, I can't move that blue piece anywhere. I can't move it down to the white face and move it somewhere else. So that's the only thing it can do. So that's how we place those type of pieces. The exact same thing happens on the top. You just turn the top until one of them's in position. All of them will then be in position. And you can see, we've got all the yellows done, we've got the reds done, all of the side faces done. The only face remaining now is the white face. And when you get to the white face, you might have what we've got here, which is 2 placed and 2 to swap, or at least it looks like there's a swap. You might have 3 to place, or it could be solved. Now this is pretty common where you've got a swap of 2 pieces, and essentially that one's got to go around to there, that one's got to go around to there, but I can't really just swap, and I can't do something like turning the face like that. I need to think, well, what I've really got is a 3 cycle. And so to do a 3 cycle, I'm going to use another of the white pieces and temporarily put it down onto a side face. So that white piece is available. And I guess if I just look at it like this, I can see that that white piece is the same as belongs there. So it's kind of like I'm 3 cycling this piece around to there. This piece, instead of bringing it back to here, I can actually bring it around to there, and this 3rd piece will go in place there. So that's my direction, this piece to there first. So I've got to get the white piece down to the green face, and then just do a setup on the white face to get the 3 pieces available to interact. So that's got to go to here first. So I turn that onto its position, I bring my 3rd piece up, I undo, and I undo. Now, it doesn't look good yet, but it will. I now undo my setup moves, and the first setup move to undo is this one, and the second setup move to undo is that one. You can see that all of those 4 whites are placed. None of the others have been knocked out. So that's the end of the first stage of this solve, is to place those circle pieces that are inside the circle and touching the center. They're a separate type of circle piece to all the rest, and we're a little bit closer to being able to turn our corners. The next stage of the solve is to place the edge bases. I'm doing this for 2 reasons. The first reason is because I want to make turnable corners. The second reason is I want to check whether I happen to have a swap of 2 edge bases. Because if I do, I need to fix it now. So to place the edge bases, and by the way, the edge bases, there's a white-green edge base, and here's a red-white edge arrow. So I'm not interested in the arrows, just interested in these bases at the moment. I'm going to place them the same as I would for a Rubik's Cube, except that I'm not going to turn the white face as I do my sequences. So I can turn it for setups, that's no problem. But let me demonstrate. I've got a white-green here, and that's got to go into this position. So what I would do would be to turn that down to the bottom face, turn the piece around, bring it up, and then of course you'll notice that orange is sitting on the red face. Undo that as well. So I do want to do the full 4 moves here to keep all of these circle pieces that we've just done in place. Okay, so that white green is in. Let's find another white. It's a white red. Now that white red needs to go here, but it's clearly kind of misoriented. So what I would do first would actually be to 3 cycle it down to here with the white on the bottom. So this piece, and this piece in a 3 cycle. Like that. The white part's down on the bottom. I can turn its position down to the bottom, put it on, undo, undo. You get sick of me saying that all the time. Do something else, undo, undo. The white blue is next. Now that's got to go to that position there. Again, probably what I would do is just bring it to the bottom and perhaps replace it with this one. I don't really want to replace it with this because I've just placed that. And notice that because I'm not turning the white face here, I'm not disturbing any of the circle pieces that I had previously done. Once again, I can bring its position down, turn it on, undo, undo. There's that one placed. And the final white edge is here, the white orange. Now this one, the white is actually on the lower layer, not on the bottom. So what I can do is bring it up like this. So 3 cycle this piece to here, and the white orange up into position. And you can see it's as though I've just done the white cross there. So that's the first 4 edges. Let's turn it upside down and do 3 of these middle layer edges. I'll search for one on the top. There's a blue red. Now at the moment, I can happily just turn that around there as a setup. In fact, I might even turn it around like this so I can do it down, down, up, up. I'll place the piece like so. Now there's technically no reason to turn the yellow face back until I'm ready to place yellow pieces, but I just forget. So I'm going to turn it back every time. Here's a blue orange. Let's bring that. In fact, was that in position? Yeah, let's bring that around 2 turns again, and I'll place that one into position. Undo my 2 turns. I've also got that green red, so that I can turn that 1 turn, and then down, down, up, up, and I'll turn my yellow face back. So 3 of the edges are placed. That leaves my 4th edge, and I'll use that to get the 2 edges on the top at the back done. So I need to get a yellow red into there, a yellow blue into there. Well, let's have a look. The yellow blue's here, it needs to jump over to there, so I'll cycle those 3 pieces. It's in. Now the yellow red needs to go here. I'm going to turn its position around, put it on, undo, undo. Now that will leave me 3 edges in some kind of configuration, and it's either going to be a 3 cycle of some kind or a swap. And we notice here that green yellow is placed. I've got an orange yellow flipped in position, an orange green flipped in position. So I have essentially a 3 cycle here. What I'd like to do is set up now for a swap of edges. Okay, and here we've got almost the same looking scenario. We've got that yellow green solved. This time we've got the orange green that needs to go here, and the orange yellow that needs to go up here. Doesn't matter that they're flipped, we'll take care of that later. The main problem is that they're swapped edges. And on a normal cube, I guess what we would do is turn the yellow face 1 turn and resolve the edges. Now I can technically do that here. You can see that what happens is it puts out the edges. So this is an appropriate face to turn. However, any face which is a 0 face, so any of these side faces are also appropriate faces to turn. What I find is it's generally easiest to turn one of the side faces 1 turn. So I'll turn the orange face 1 turn. Now that there has fixed that problem straight away. So the swapped edges is now fixed. Now as you'll note, what it's done is push out the circle edges. So that white belongs back there. The green one belongs back here. The yellow belongs here. The blue belongs back here. I need to take care of each of these before I deal with the edges again. So the thing about it is that I have to use the white face to do it, because if I try and do it on the blue face, like if I was trying to place that blue back like one turn, another turn, back, and final turn, you can see it hasn't done it because they won't turn on that blue face. So I must use the white face to do the turns. So what I can do here is cycle that one to there, that one to here, and this around there. That'll get the blue back in. You'll notice that I turned the orange face down here and then I turned it back. So I've used an even number of turns while I'm doing my piece replacement. That's important. The next one I might do is let's see if I can, either the green or the yellow. The green is here and I need to place it into that position, but I need to use this face. So I'm actually going to do a setup of one turn up like that. Now I can cycle the green to here and use this yellow piece as a third piece. Okay, that's done. I'll undo the setup. Now the green's in. What you'll notice is that the white has come back in, and actually so has the yellow. So that may happen, it may not, but that's all we need to do is solve the 4 circle pieces again, so they look good. Now let's have a look at what's happened on this cube. You'll notice that that white orange shouldn't be there, and that white red shouldn't be there. In fact, they've swapped. And that's exactly what we were trying to do. So we had a single swap up the top. We've now created a swap of edges at the bottom. So 2 swaps of edges, no problem. We can happily deal with that. The first one that I'm going to place is the white orange. And that needs to go over here. I do not want to turn the white face, because if I do, I will end up knocking out circle edges. So just as an example, if I tried to cycle the white orange around to there and use this piece here, this is what would happen. That looks good. That looks okay. That looks bad, because now I've got a yellow. So that's why we can't use the white face to cycle the edges. In the same way as when we were placing the edges, we couldn't use it either. So instead of that, I'm going to bring the white orange up there as a setup, and I'm going to place it here, cycling that piece, and that piece. Here we go. Notice that's now in position again. I did have a setup, so I'm going to undo that setup. Now, the white red is sitting here. I need to cycle it to that position. So once again, up to the top, turn it on, undo, undo. Really important now to just have a look around. Are all the circle pieces back in position? Yes, they are. So that's good. And more importantly, all of the white edges are now back in a position. We've got 1, 2, 3 of the middle layer edges. So there's my 4th. Let's check at the back. The yellow blue is done. I need to replace the yellow red. So I'll do that. And now I've got this yellow green. And you remember, this is actually the scenario that I had before I did the swapped edges. I had these 2 pieces in position but flipped. So if you get a set of flipped edges, you just want to turn it so that they're both on the top, and you can carry out the standard edge flipping algorithm. But let's say that you don't know what that is. Well, the first thing is that you want to do any kind of down, down, up, up here to form a 3 cycle. So if I do that down, down, up, up, now I've got a 3 cycle of some kind. The yellow green belongs there, the yellow orange belongs there, the orange green belongs there. So I'm now ready to use that to replace the pieces. So I notice that the yellow orange will go up to its position wrong. It'll misorient. The orange green will go around to its position correct, and the yellow green comes to its position correct. Notice that if I turn it into its position, the yellow sticker is matching the face. So I've got these 2 pieces which are going to orient correctly. And so what I do now is I I note the piece direction has to be like this rather than this, and I turn that orange green onto the yellow green first. And I bring the third piece into play and undo, undo. That's how I work out which direction to turn my 3 cycle. You'll see when I turn it back, I've got everything placed exactly as I need it. So that is how we fix swap edges and then solve the last edges using the last 3. Well, the next stage of this solve is to solve the triangles, and you'll notice that I can happily turn my corners now because all of the edge bases are correctly placed. So to solve triangles, first thing is that this triangle, you'll notice yellow, red, green is just magically in place. The worst that can happen is it's sort of one turn out and then you turn it back. Here's an example on the other side. This is one turn out. The reason for that is even if I have that there, I can't move that yellow triangle anywhere because it can't get down to the white face to move. So those 2 are done. All of the top triangles are done. Now I'll turn it upside down. Have a look at the white face. Now there can be movement here because if I get an orange from here up to here, that can move around. So let's see what's what. Let's place, first of all, this orange one into that position. So I'm going to cycle red to orange to blue. So turn the face, turn the corner up, undo, undo. That orange is in. I've next got a red. Let's put that into here. Turn its position up, onto its position, undo, undo. I've got a blue that belongs here. And I've now got a green, so white to green to white. And all of those triangles are done. So it's as simple as that, it's as short as that, but of course you can only do it once you have all your corners turnable. Well, the next stage is something that I'm going to check for. It's not essential to do this here, but if you run into the problem at the end, it's a little bit of a pain. So I would rather fix it here because it's very simple to fix. What that is to see if we have a single twisted corner. So to do that, I'm going to solve most of the corners. Now you'll notice that the corners have nothing to do with the circles. So the circles on this cube do not go through the corners at all. And so it doesn't matter which faces I use here. I can turn the yellow face, the white face, the red face, whatever. I'm going to use the corner piece series for this. So I'm just going to look for a corner to roll either across the back or down the side and then see what piece movement I've got. So I've got these 3 moving like that. So that is a clockwise movement. So the first turn of my upper face will be anti-clockwise. You'll notice that having done that, nothing that we have done already has been touched, which is good. Next corner that I can use, can't always find one that will roll, but a lot of the time you can. The green, white, orange will roll across to here. So again, I'll do that piece movement. I've got a yellow, blue, orange down to this position. So this time I've got an anti-clockwise piece movement. So the first turn of the upper face is clockwise. All done. I'm fairly close to all of them. I've got a few that can go kind of across a diagonal here, so I might do, I'll place the blue, white, orange, and what I'm going to do is actually just set it up to there, so it will turn across the back here to that piece, and then I'll move this other piece as another setup into that position. So I've now got 3 corners. I'm actually only trying to place this one over here. Okay, let me undo that setup. Let me undo that setup and we'll see what's what. All of the orange corners are placed. Now this might be enough to check the top face. That one's placed and solved. It is enough. So what I need to really look at is, you'll notice that they're all in their positions. And so this one needs to turn anti-clockwise. This one needs to turn clockwise. This one needs to turn clockwise. Now that's not good. That's the word I'm looking for. If I just had two corners like that, one turning anti-clockwise, one turning clockwise, that'd be fine. Would not have a single twisted corner. But actually here I do. And what I'll do is just quickly orient both of these to prove it. So I'll twist this one and then that one into position. And we'll be doing this at the end of the solve, so it's exactly the same thing. Again, it's a really standard corner twister. You can see now that those two have become correctly placed and oriented. And I do in fact have this one turnable or one twisted corner. Now the interesting thing about it is that it's not on a corner that I can turn. So I'd like to get the red up to there, but I clearly can't turn that at all. It's not a turnable corner. If it was over here and twisted, all I would do would be to twist that corner so that it became correct. This one's not. And so I've got to think, well, at the moment it's going to go around that way. It's going clockwise. I need to create a second corner that is also, or that is going to twist the opposite direction. So it's going to twist anti-clockwise. So I could do this. Let's just see what happens. That would actually create the two corners and it would fix that problem. However, you'll notice that the triangles have come out. Now, the problem with twisting this corner is that I've got no way to get those triangles back in apart from that, and then it undoes the work. So what I need to do is make sure that I twist a corner that lives on the white face. So that one's got to go clockwise. If I twist this one clockwise, I now create a second corner that needs to twist anti-clockwise. So that's what I've done there. It's put the triangles out, but the important thing is that the triangles are the only other things we've done, and that's the only thing we need to fix. So first of all, I'll replace the red triangle into there. And second, I'll replace the blue over to here. Okay, so the triangles are back in. I've fixed my single twisted corner. It's not going to come up again. And what I'm going to find is if I did it later, I would end up not only having to replace the triangles, but also these edge arrows and the circle pieces. And they're in fact what we're going to look at now, the placing of the remaining circle pieces. So the last two main stages of this solve, wouldn't quite say we're on the home stretch, but we're not far off it. The first stage is going to be to get the rest of the circle pieces. So that green, blue and blue need to become white. And same on each face. The next stage is then to place the edge arrows. So you might think that this white-red edge arrow here, it's fully reduced, but we're actually not trying to reduce things in a Mercury solve because I can't move that around to where it belongs. If I try, well, actually I lie, I can, because it happens to be on the white face. But let's say that I needed to move it somewhere else, maybe down to here. If I tried to do that, you'll see that it breaks from its circle piece, and in fact everything mucks up. Even if I do it with 4 moves, unless there is an appropriate red piece or orange piece here, then it's not going to work. And that's why we need to get these circle pieces done first. Now, doing the circle pieces and then placing the edge arrows is actually the exact same sequence. We're just going to be using different faces. It's one of the things I really enjoy about this particular puzzle, and in fact all puzzles, is when you can reapply different areas of the cube, but reapply the same sequence to get the job done. So let me explain exactly how we're going to do this, because as I said earlier, it is fundamental to many other puzzles in this series. Let's have a look at, you'll notice on the top that I've got a green piece, a blue piece, and a blue piece. I'm just going to do one of these to demonstrate, but we're actually then going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So let's say that I wanted to place this green piece. I would look where it might go, and I can see where it might go by turning the corner. that belongs in that position where that orange piece there is. It does not belong here. It can't get to there. So it goes here. What I'm looking for is one piece that's on a side face somewhere that can be turned on a corner, and then two pieces that are on the white face that I can use. So clearly that green piece is one of the pieces on the white face. Now, if I think what the other piece would be, what I'm doing is basically going, well, what piece turns into the green piece? I'll turn that around. I'll say, it's the blue. So that would be the other piece. So there's 1, 2, 3 pieces that are involved in this 3 cycle. I want to place the green there. So I consider what is the direction of the movement. I've got blue to go to there, green to go to here, and then orange to come up to here. So I'm turning blue across to here first, and that tells me that I'm going to do face turns first. That's the key. I've got to turn faces first, then I'm going to turn the corner. Right, so what is the actual sequence? Here we go. I'm going to firstly place the blue across to there by turning the white face 180 degrees, then this green face 180, and then repeat. You'll see that the blue has gone to there. Now, what's this yellow? Where does that come from? Well, that has actually come from the bottom. You'll see the blue went to there, the green that was here went down to here, and the yellow went up to the top. That's the first thing. Get the piece across to there. Next thing, turn the third piece using the corner up into that position. And now, you guessed it, undo, undo. Well, let's undo the face turn. So I turned white face, then green face. And so to undo them, it's green face, white face. And then to undo the corner turn, well, I undo the corner turn. I'll turn it back like that. Now notice that the yellow piece that was here has gone back into its position. That hasn't been touched. In fact, the green piece is placed. And the only pieces that have really moved that we're concerned with are the green piece, the blue piece, and the orange piece. And you'll see exactly how they have cycled. Well, that's all we're doing. It's very simple. And when we get to the top part of the cube, it's extremely quick because there's no setups. However, in order to get pieces on the bottom and the lower part of the cube, we do need to use setup. So let's, as I said, I like to get all the yellows done first. Most of these are done, but that's not. So let's have a look at this piece. You can see there's a yellow there. So this will demonstrate why maybe I can't always do in the exact order that I want. I would turn this position up to the top. That green piece needs to become a yellow. What I'm doing is checking on this corner. Are there any yellow pieces either there or there which can turn up into that position? No. Or across on this corner, because that's going to be the other piece that I'm using. No, no. Okay, so I would actually abandon that and say, well, it's not very easy to do that at the moment. Why not? Well, the yellow piece is sitting here. There's no real way that I can get it up to the top. I mean, I can do that, but you can see that's going to completely muck up the orientation there. The only thing that I really can do is to get this yellow piece down to here and up to the top and get it up there so I can use it. So because I want that somewhere up here, what I'm going to do is actually do the red piece that belongs in here. Well, see if I can. And this is just something we would normally do later, like with that one there, but we'll do it now. Let's turn this down as a setup to this face, and then up to the white face. Now, remember that has got to be red. So first thing I check, is there a red here? No. Is there a red here? No. What about across here? Oh, there's a red that I can use because that will turn up into the position of the other piece. So now I have identified my 3 pieces, the yellow, the white, and the red. And I need to think, what is the direction, which will tell me whether I do face turns first or corner turn first. The red needs to go here, and for that to happen, I've got to cycle yellow across to there, white across to here, red across to here. Well, notice that yellow went to there first, so that's face turns first, just like we did before. So here we go. Done that. We then move the third piece into position. Now we undo each of them. And undo the corner turn. Where do we undo it? Well, check the triangles. The orange has to go back here. So it tells us that is what we're trying to turn. Use the word trying. You can see that all looks good. The white is there, that yellow has come from here, and that red is now up to there. Now, two really good things have happened. One is that the red has been placed where we want it. The second is that the yellow piece that I had, which was problematic, has gone over to here, and that's going to be ready for me to use next. So let's now put this back. I undo that setup, and I then undo the corner turn setup. You can see that the red has been placed into that position. So now I should be ready to go and do this yellow piece. So I'll bring that up to the top. I go, is there another yellow? Yes, there it is. So I've got yellow going across to here. What else can I use? I could use that blue. I could use this green. I suppose it would make more sense to use a piece that I haven't done yet. I could also use that white as a third piece, and I could use that orange. Doesn't really matter. What I might do is actually use the orange now just to demonstrate a corner turn first, because so far we've had face turns first. So I'm going to do the orange piece to here, the yellow across to here, and the green back to there. So because I'm turning the orange first, I do corner turn initially. Then I do face turns to replace that with my third piece, which is my green piece. So I've got to get that across to there with my face turns. All done. Undo the corner turns and then undo the face turns. And then you can see there's a nice double yellow there. I'll undo that setup, and that's placed it. All the yellows are done. Now I'm just going to continue doing that, working my way upwards. So this needs to be a blue. So I would turn that down to that position, bring it up to the top, and notice there's a blue sitting here. That's really nice. So I could just go blue to white, or I could go blue to white. Maybe I'll do that one. So blue to white, face turns first. Undo that corner turn and we're good to go. That was the piece that I just put on, so I will turn that back down to the bottom and then turn it around. Notice the yellows haven't not been touched and the blue has gone in there. Next one, this orange. Turn it down to the bottom face, bring it up to the top. Right, is there an orange on that corner? I can't see one. What about over here? No, can't see one. So I would actually just abandon that for now. See if there's another one that I can do. Maybe this one here, which needs to be green. Okay, so that red's got to be replaced with a green. There's a green. So I'm going to go green to red to orange. Okay, undo that setup, undo that setup, and the green is in. Now what you might have noticed when I turned this up is that there was actually an orange piece here for this other one. So I was trying to get this orange. I think it ended up pushing it out from somewhere else. And that's what's going to happen. So if this is the last one, it's not yet. So I'll still come back to that in a tick. Let's attempt this red. Now there's no red there. There is a red piece here that will turn up into that position. So that's the one that I want to use. Red to here, to here. That's the piece movement. So corner turn first. Now I've got to get this across to here. So white face, then green face. Undo, undo. Now, which one was it that we'd set up? I think it was this side here. Yeah, that's good. Got that. And I've still got the orange. Let's try this orange now. Now, here's what's going to happen. When I turn this up to the top, it actually pushes out the orange piece that I need. And I don't reckon there's another one. That's the only other orange piece which is not usable. So what I would do before bringing it up is do another setup of turning that white face one turn, just to push the orange piece out of the way. Now when I bring that up, that's ready to use. So I could cycle white to orange to blue. So I turn the white piece up. I then need to get the blue over to here. So I'm going to cycle 3 pieces by turning the white face and then the green face. I undo my corner turn. And then undo the face turns. Okay, now the setups I had, I brought that up last. I then can happily turn that back around and you'll notice these orange pieces come back in. And the last one, this corner turn down here. Note that all of the stuff that we've done previously is staying done. So that's all of the bottom layer. I've now got these last couple of pieces of the lower half. So that green has got to be blue. So let's put it onto that position. We'll turn it up here and we'll notice there's a blue sitting there waiting to be placed. So I'll go blue to green to this blue. All done. Undo setup and undo setup, and that's done. And I reckon there might be one more. There is. That one has got to be green. So we turn that down to that position, bring it up to here and say, is there a green piece that I can use? Now, there actually is one here that's done. I'm happy to use that if that's the only one I've got, but I'll check over on this corner first. There's a green piece that will also work. So I'm going to cycle red to white, white to green, green to red. Faces first. Okay, we'll undo that setup, undo the other one. Now you'll see it's coming together, and that's really the best part done, or the hardest part done, because what happens now is there's no setups. All we do is exactly like I did when I was demonstrating this at the start of this section, find a colour that needs to go somewhere and just place it. So if I look at that red, that's got to go to the white. So I'll just go, oh, well, I'm cycling blue to red to white, like that. Now that may or may not bring another colour up, but if not, it's fine. You can turn it up with a corner turn. There's another red here. So that's going to go over to that position. So it must be the orange to the white to the red. So corner turn first, and I can turn the red across here. Undo corner. Undo faces. Now I've got the orange. That orange belongs in that position, so it must be white to orange. There's a blue here, and we might be on the last one. We are, because there's only one piece, one place that it can go. So it's got to be white to blue to white. So let's cycle that. Faces first. Turn my corner up and then undo. And you can see all of the circle pieces have now been solved. Well, that leads to the next stage, which is the last main stage of the solve, which is now to place these edge arrows. And you'll notice that that white-red edge arrow, before we started, it had the white there, it had the red here, but now the orange piece is actually the correct piece. I now need to essentially do that same sequence, but not turn the white face when I'm using face turns. So what I often like to do is to try and get the white pieces in first, because then I can sort of forget about them. Let's see if that's going to be possible. It certainly is. So I've got a white blue that can go across the face. That white blue belongs over here. So if I think, well, there's my two pieces across the face, just like the two little circle pieces there. Where's the other one? Well, I could use the yellow orange, or I could use the red green, whatever suits. So if one of them worked well to get a second piece done, I'd look at that. But in this case, I just want to get the white blue placed. So I've got to find a way to get the white blue across to there without turning the white face. So I can't go blue, white, because yes, it would place the white blue, but it would also disrupt pieces here. So instead, I need to turn yellow face, then blue face, and that will cycle this piece to here, the white blue over to here, and this piece down to the bottom. So the important thing is it doesn't turn the white face, it puts the white blue where I need it. Now I replace it with something else. So turn the corner, then undo face turns, and undo corner turn. You can see that, as I said, it is really the same sequence, just making sure we don't turn the white face. That white blue has now been placed. There's a white green that belongs here. So this time what I'll do is turn the red blue to that position, the blue yellow to that position, the white green to here. So that means the piece movement is a corner turn first, then I've got to get the white green over to here. So because these are middle layer faces, I can happily turn the green face and then the orange face to do that. The white green's there, undo corner turn and it places, and then undo face turn. Very quick, very easy, not a huge deal. Now I've got two more whites to go. There's the white orange. That looks like it's a fair way away. Maybe not. Well, here's one thing we could do. We could do a setup of turning that white orange piece up on the corner so that it's now across the face. And this time I can now go white red to blue red to white orange, which will then place up here. So now I've got to move the white orange across. Undo. All done. The white orange is in, and of course we had this set up here. And let's see if that leaves the white red somewhere handy. Yep, that's fine. It's sitting over here and it belongs here. So I can say, well, that's going to be the corner turn down to there. Can I get the white red piece to that position? Because that's what I need. If I'm going to turn the white red position down to there, I then need to bring the arrow to sit on its position. Well, let's do the corner turn first. The white red comes to here by me cycling that piece to here, that piece to here, and that white red will come back where I want it. So to do that, I'm turning red face first, then green face. You can see the white red is exactly where we want it to be. Undo the corner turn, then undo the face turns. And now all of the white pieces are in, so I can sort of put it on the bottom and just concentrate on, all I've got to worry about is stuff up here. Let's find something maybe across the face. Yep, green, red can go to there. Yellow, blue, where's that? Well, doesn't really matter. What's that one? Red, blue? Yeah, here's a good example. So I'm going to cycle the green, red to there. I'm actually going to use this as my third piece, because my third piece, red, blue, will then come back and get this one done as well. That one's done, that one's done. Now, I don't want to do all of these ones along the face or I'll run out of corners. So what I'll probably do now is look to get maybe these two done. So this might be a little bit trickier. So we'll just see what happens. I've got, let's say that I turn, that's a yellow red, and I've got a yellow red there. I could also do the other way, that doesn't matter. A little bit of a setup. So I can see the yellow-red is going to go to the orange-green. Now remember, orange-green is actually in the yellow-red position. So that's what I want. I want the yellow-red to go to the orange-green, and that blue-yellow is my third piece that I'll use. So I've got to get that across to there first, and then turn that corner on. Turn the corner on, undo, undo the corner turn, and I will undo it in the correct way that I should. And you remember that, oh yeah, we had a setup. So when I undo the setup, that yellow-red has gone into position. That's great. What about this one? That's supposed to be yellow-green. Now this is a little bit trickier because, I mean, I could turn that down like that, but I'm going to have the yellow-green probably somewhere like that. And that's not quite as simple to get. So I'll leave that at the moment. See if there is another yellow that we can do. For example, the yellow-blue is here and it belongs here. So I can do orange-yellow to green-yellow to yellow-blue. Turn the corner first, turn this piece across, undo, undo. What have we got left? Looks like 4 pieces. We've got an orange-green swapping with a green-yellow and an orange-blue swapping with a blue-yellow. I really think that green-yellow would be fantastic to solve. I'm a little bit concerned about not solving it yet, and so what I might do, just thinking this through, I think I'm going to do a setup. I mean, as I said before, I could move it to there. In fact, I don't think I do need to do a setup, do I? Yes, I do. I was going to say I could just use those 2 pieces, but this is the green-yellow position, so I have to involve the green-yellow. So look, what I'm going to do instead is this. I'm actually going to do a setup to cycle the orange-yellow to here and the green-yellow to here. And then I've got 2 pieces across the face and my third piece for the corner. So as the setup to get that to here and that to here, I'm just going to do the normal face turns. And doing those 4 turns not only moves the pieces where I want it, it leaves this where I need it to be as well. Okay, so now the green-yellow is going to here. So it must be orange-yellow to the green-yellow, green-yellow to the orange-green, and the orange-green back to here. So face turns first. Corner turn. And the green-yellow there is clearly in position. When I undo that corner turn, that's gone in. And now you can see these are out, so I'm just going to undo the face turn setups. Now that will leave me with the last 3 pieces, and they're beautifully positioned because I've got 2 across the face, 1 here. And that's kind of intentional by solving it in that logical manner, I guess. So I just need to work out the direction. You can see orange-blue is coming down to here. So I've got to turn the corner first and then put this piece across to there. All done, undo, and undo. There you go. Same sequence, just not using the white face, and that has placed those edge arrows around all the circle parts. And so the last stage of the solve is to solve the corners. Now, if you check for a single twisted corner earlier, the corners will be in their position but twisted. I won't have any more cycling to do. The other thing is, if I've got 3 corners, they will all need to twist the same direction. That's got to go clockwise, that's got to go clockwise, that's got to go clockwise. So all I need to do now in this last little stage is to twist those corners into position. I'll use the same corner twister that I used before. So if this is going up like that, I'm going to do 2 up, up, down, downs like this, which will twist that corner into position. I'll then turn the other one around and twist this one into position using the same. All done. Turn the third one around. And because there are 3 corners needing to be twisted in the same direction, I will discover that when I'm finished, all of the other edges and corners come back to where they should be. So I turn that upper face and you'll see that the Crazy Unicorn Mercury is solved. That's all there is to it. I mean, it is a harder cube than the Crazy Unicorn, no question. And I would say it's harder than the Crazy Mercury 3x3 planet cube, but it's still not a hugely difficult one, certainly not compared to things like Mars, Saturn and Neptune. So there it is. I hope that was helpful, and as I said, that is a fundamental cube type. Thanks for watching.